So guys, once again, welcome to another episode. Today I'm so extremely excited to just take you through one of the renovations we have been doing in these areas of Lavington. So today I just want to take you through, I think previously you guys have been able to see what the processes or what we have been doing during the constructions or during the fit outs on this project, whereby we had the demolitions, we were fitting doors, we were fitting cabinetry works, we were fitting the staircases, a bit of gypsum works, and things were scattered here and there. They were not looking so beautiful, but today everything is in place, and I would want to just show you how a renovation can look ugly during the beginning and how it can be extremely beautiful at the end. So guys, I will start from the beginning, and my beginning is basically what I will do is just to mention the specific areas that we were contracted to work on. And from where I am standing, I will start by saying that we did some work at the entry porch, and this particular point where we started by skimming and removing the existing wallpaper that was on this wall. We removed, peeled it out, prepared the walls, sanded, and actually made them good before painting. We also installed a bit of gypsum cornice works on the ceilings. And then the main thing on this particular project at the entry point was actually this door. And it's actually a process for someone to do a door on an existing project, because basically you can't remove the existing door until you get the main door. And those are some of the details or some of the specifications people might miss. Some will just come and remove the door and leave the project open or leave the site open. So insects and things can just be moving in, dirt can just be moving in from outside, anybody can move from wherever they're coming from and just walk in. So in this particular scenario, what we did was we addressed the issue of this door by first agreeing with the client on the designs. Those were both the frames and the shutters, for us to have a uniform feel. And also most of the times the biggest problem is always the girth. The girth, I mean, is the depth of the frame. So most of the people or most of the projects we are renovating, you'll find that the frame does not fit the space. So we want to have a frame that fits the girth that was provided, so that we can have an architrave on both sides and the other side. That is the inner and the outer. So starting from here, we removed the existing door. Maybe you can see it from the previous video if you are able to watch it, or probably if my team can also put the previous door that was here, you can be able to see how it looked and what is there right now, and the essence of having an interior designer do you some work. In this project, I'm just in love with this door. Look at the workmanship. Look at the way frames are polished nicely. Look at how it's fitting wall to wall, allowing you to put an architrave on the outer sides, and also giving you some vent lights. So remember last time when I was shooting the progress, these vents had not been put because we had ordered for the glasses, and these are printed or laminated printed glasses, whereby we had ordered and we were waiting, and when I was shooting, nothing was here. So this is just to allow light to move in from the outside to the inside. So we had to provide a single panel door in the middle, and then the glass panes on the outer side. Look at even the lock, the selection of the lock, plus the size, and also how it just matching in terms of color scheme. They just look beautiful. And that is it for the entry. And without that, we also complemented with the skirting nicely. We have also done a bit of the exteriors, which I will actually take you through one of the other side, which is the backyard. we also decided to put the turf grass on the entry because it was renovation and we didn't want to remove the entire tiles everywhere. So we decided just to make it look neat by providing turf grass, which is actually in form of a carpet. You can remove, clean, and put it back. So stay tuned as I take you through. And before I forget, we are actually touching the gypsum works, we are touching the skimming, we are touching the sanding, we are touching gypsum works, we are touching lighting, we are touching the TV unit wall cabinet, we are touching the doors, we are touching the staircase, and we are also touching the bathrooms and also the lighting system. So let's go in. So guys, as you do, maybe when you are mounting those, there are so many factors we look at. One is how the diagonals will give you the door standing in its point or in its place vertically nicely. That is the right angles on either side standing vertically. So when you achieve all those factors, when you're opening the door, it becomes so easy. So the movement becomes so easy when you just close the door. It closes nicely and locks. Then when you are looking at the line work, now when you're looking from it from the top all the way to the middle, all the way to the bottom, the thickness or the allowance that you have left, that will be roughly around 5 mm to 10 mm. 10 mm is too much. Roughly 5 mm. It is the same allowance that you are allowing on the other side. And even when you are pulling the door from outside coming inside and you've done the floor, it must feel like as if it is not the gap between the door and the floor should not be too big, but it should not also touch and it should not be sagging. So when you're opening all these things, you are opening with ease, and when you're closing with ease. And when you're locking also the locks, they lock with ease. And the beauty is also when you're looking at this door from the inside, let it be as neat as it looks on the outer side. So currently right now, this is the entry porch of the house. We did a bit of the lights, simple. We were just doing an improvement. Remember, it's a renovation. We also changed the doors from the common toilet. Look at this door, the way it fits nicely. Look at the way the panels, the upper panel and the lower panels look. Look at the trimming. Look at the design. Look at the frame. Look at the architrave. Everything just falls in place. Look at the handle. Proper selection of handles. Black handles actually were what we went for in this project, with a bit of brass finish on the same handle, and also how they fit into each other. It looks nice. When you also look at the floor, look at the way we laid this particular, this is a engineered floor, well done, plus the skirting all around the house. We did this actually for the ground floor and for the upper floor. So that is done, and then we did a bit of beautiful cornices around, simple and plain. Then we skimmed the ceiling. Most of the times when you enter the sides and you look on the ceiling, you'll see lots of bumps on the slabs. We redid the slabs just to make them look beautiful. And as I move on, we also did a lot of electrical works, and those were actually changing the switches and sockets. And apart from that, we also did the frameworks, that is the curved frameworks. Achieving the curve on the architrave was really a lot of work, but we managed without having to cut the frame, to cut the architrave into pieces. And that is it for the entry. Then as I move on, I move into the lounge. Move into the interior. We come to the most crucial part of the house, and if not actually captured or maybe gotten so right, you might not actually get the rest right. So this is the lounge of this house. We were actually tasked to do the gypsum work. That is a stepped indirect, is one single step indirect lighting gypsum step, which you can also see. There's a light that is an indirect lighting inside the ceiling. And mostly, actually, all these things we do, I won't say that, or my review, I won't say that there is one that is bad or there's one that is good. They are all good. it normally depends with preference. There are people who will actually say, an indirect light I don't like. There are people who will be, I want the indirect light. At the end of it all, it goes back to preference. There are people who will prefer them, there are people who will not prefer them, but us as interior designers, we will give you, but the end product must be good. And that actually goes back to the finishes, how we treat it in terms of detail, in terms of how you finish your cornices, in terms of how you actually finish the indirect, the gaps that you leave, the gap that you leave from the wall and all that. But they are all good. Then apart from that, we actually were also tasked to do the TV unit, whereby this is also another thing. I will mention that it's a preference. That people will say, no, I want simple and all that, but to another person this is simple. So this was done actually out of gypsum. If you knock it, actually the wall is around 250 to 300 millimeter in back. So this is the structure wall, and then this is the gypsum wall. We have provided some LED lighting on the back side, so that if you really want to arrange some artifact, because now they just moved in, I'm very sure they're still buying things as they stay in. So probably at the end of it all, after some time, you'll come and realize the client will have put other things. We also supply the electrical switches and sockets in this house, because previously they were the old type, so we did piping. Also this, if you can see, this is a new whatever, because it is actually powering the LED lights. So you switch them on, you switch them off, and you get at the same time where all these, we have also done the wiring. If I switch off this thing, the fireplace goes off. When I switch it on, it goes on, and I just come and press it there and it is on. So all these things are planned in advance with the client, and also you discuss in terms of detailed specifications. How am I going to do it? How do I want it to appear? And they will normally come out differently depending on what design and what the specification and what is the end goal, or what do you want to achieve. So we provided this initially. It was supposed to come all the way to here, but when we were in the market and looking for these fireplaces, we realized prices range depending on the size. So the bigger the fireplace, the higher the price. So we decided to just squeeze it in a bit, but center it in the middle. Then when we were doing this compartment, we were tasked to do a space for the mantelpiece, a space for the equipment, that is the center speaker and the DSTV, and probably if there is any other whatever, or decoder or receiver, it can still fit there. We were also tasked to do the space for the TV unit, and in this case we were told to work with 65 inches. So you measure these things diagonally, and you leave an allowance just in case you want to repair, to twist, or to put something behind. So we have that allowance. Then in real sense also, when you're doing all this, we provide a switch or a socket, and that is a socket on the back side, so that we don't have to cable all the way down for the TV to be powered. So you just switch it on from this particular point. So when I stretch my hand behind here, whereby you can't see it from behind, you can switch on the TV or switch it off. So this has been done, the niches have been done. Then we ended up giving the TV unit a completely different look. So we went for a special effect. So we did a nice special effect that was not overly, that was not too much in terms of color. So it is subtle and it blends very well with the other normal paint on the other side. Apart from that, we supply these lights. I had to order them from outside the country, because whatever we were looking for we could not get, and I have a supplier I know very well who has some unique pieces. So I called and they got me some pictures, shared with the client, and look at how this thing blends. And without forgetting, most people would prefer the pelmet box around their windows, and these pelmet boxes, we build them out of gypsum, clad it nicely with the cornice, and you will get your curtains coming from inside, so you don't have to necessarily be seeing your curtain rods flowing where the curtain rods are starting. They start from the ceiling, and then now look at the way The curtains were done, the material beautiful. When you look at the shears, beautifully done. Then when you actually zoom in, without forgetting the ceiling, normally simplicity is the mother of design, and in that case we normally try as much as we can to be as simple as possible. It's an indirect stepped gypsum ceiling, but done simple in a way that you just have nice simple cornices, straight lines. Then after the step ceiling, a nice beautiful simple cornice, and then we did a trimming in the panel moldings around just to add a bit of character to the entire thing. So that is it for the lounge. And then when you are working with the lounge and the dining around the same place, then again, you don't want to drift so much. You don't want to drift so much in such a way that now the lounge speaks a different language and the dining speaks a different language. We almost go the same, like when we come into the ceiling, we are doing more or less the same type of ceiling. The only thing that now changes is the size. And somehow maybe the lounge is normally bigger than the dining. So when you're doing the ceiling in the dining, is more or less the same design, but what you actually do is you reduce the sizes. So the girth or maybe the depth between the ceiling and the walls you reduce. The cornice remains the same, simple cornice, straight lines. So when you're doing this also you have to consider, because you're doing the same thing, just the depths that you are changing because of the size. You want this actually to also complement the ceiling. The table that you are bringing, it must fit as people are sitting. Even the chandelier that you are supplying should echo what is below. So, but in terms of design, it's just a simple ceiling. That is a simple cornice on the lower side, a simple step ceiling, a simple trimming of the cornice and the panel moldings. But now because you're selecting a light that is actually supposed to be also the same size or actually echo the size of the table, it is the same design that is in the lounge, but the one that was in the lounge was almost like a circular light. Then because we're having a table that is rectangular, we went for the same design but in a rectangular manner. Then the ceiling, because they're white, we wanted to contrast with a black. Even on the wall brackets around, same theme, black metallic finish on the brackets, and then the glasses on the glass that the illumination is coming from the glasses, and then the sockets and switches, same design all through. Then the frame, same treatment. And then my client was very, very critical in terms of finishes, in terms of whatever. She also supplied a nicely beautiful console that complements even the table and the rest of the other items. And that is it for this lounge and the dining. From there, we will go to the kitchen. So guys, this is the kitchen. We didn't do the kitchen particularly because the kitchen was already here. But when we walked in, a few things were not in line. So some of these walls were actually boards. So and they were, you could see where they've been cut from, the points they've been cut and all that. There was no hood in the middle of the island. So what we did was we decided to provide for our client the hood that sucks out the air. So this was done by us. We installed this, and we also provided the gypsum panel on top, spray painted the walls. Actually, if you walk around, these walls were made out of boards. We had to spray paint them out of the automotive matte finish so that they look like the walls. We also changed the switches and sockets. If you look around, it's the same theme. These all are imported, so to just match everything around the house. And then we try to adjust this counter in the middle to just sit in the middle. So we also supplied the lights on top because it was a bit dark. If you look around, there are no lights apart from that light. So we decided to do the gypsum ceiling and provide lighting so that when you're walking around here, it is bright enough. So all the electrical, even the hood, we had to provide channel. This one, we did this, all this we did ourselves. And then this is also a board. We also, after removing this, we supplied the cornice. It looks the same all through. in the entire house. And that is it for this kitchen. That is what we did. The kitchen had been done beautifully. We actually acknowledged and said whoever did this did a good job. So we just finished, and just to make it complement with the rest of the other spaces and to make the walls, because actually as you walk in, walls will be interfered with, the ceilings you want them to complement the rest. So those were the smaller bits that we did. Let's go to the staircase. Before I go to the staircase, I would want to just, this door was here, but it could not close and open, so we had to supply the lock and change it nicely, polish. It was really, actually, some of these works we had to just sand and polish and stain so that it looks like the rest. Then, as usual, you guys, sometimes just to show you, you can use your under the staircase for a shoe rack and for even proper storage. And if it's well arranged, look at the way this is properly arranged, and it looks just beautiful. So this lock, you can lock and close completely, and that is some of the work, some of the tasks that we did. When we came in, this staircase was actually the old type of wood actually. So we tried as much to stain it. We actually came here, sanded the entire staircase because it was the dark wood. It was really dark wood. So we had to scrap off the existing color that was on wood to achieve the mahogany finish that is the real mahogany finish. And then it was the finish was very glossy, and the client didn't like the glossy finish. So we had to scrap out all the stain that was on top, and then now sand properly the staircase, sand this the newels, sanded all the handrails, sanded all the smaller pieces on the that goes up the staircase, and then we restained. But when we were going up, after some time, we realized that this particular part was made out of actually this particular area had been tiled. So when you look at this wood, if you come closer, this is what we supplied, and it looks completely different. It's new. The thickness is 40 mm nicely. If you look at the skirting, beautiful as compared to the old skirting, despite we try to make them look the same. But when it's new, it's new. When it's a bit old, it's a bit old. So those are some of the works. As we go up, look at the cornices, we look at the lighting, we change the lights. So guys, as we land on the first floor, I will go so fast because I'm gonna just show you how things have come out. So look at the walls, nicely skimmed, sanded, because all this was wallpaper all through. So we ripped out the entire wall that was existing in wallpaper, changed the electrical points. There were so many wires around this place, and we sanded the wall. The ceiling was in a pathetic state. We removed the existing ceiling and provided for gypsum ceiling, sanded, polished, and painted to approval. And then if you look at the beautiful chandelier, how it flows, and this is not actually the plastic thing, these are glass chandelier crystals. They are so beautiful, and it's a heavy thing to carry. So guys, if you can scroll back our older videos, this was a louvered, very old wooden door that didn't look so nice. In fact, this was done almost towards the end because we realized this is not gonna work. So we ripped this out, removed the entire boxing, came up with a new box, and then we created this cabinet, and it's actually looking very beautiful when you go inside. Right now it has been used as a linen store, and nicely the interior, the carcass, very well done, the upper cabinet well done. If you saw it before, you can now attest and say a renovation can be done, and it can actually look very nice. Initially when we came in, there were so many cables that were running around this place. So many cables, even on these walls, even on the skirting levels, there were many cables that could lie. So we provided it in such a way that all the cables come through a pipe, enter, then all the cables here enter nicely, and separated the two DP switch. One is for water heater and another one is for something else. So even the provision for the internet, we had to provide in such a way that now you don't see cables around. So before I go to the other side, let me walk you through the master. Guys, quickly as we move on, look at how we changed these doors nicely. If you see the videos how we were demolishing and making things good, look at how the frame has come out nicely. We done that. This is what I talk about: an architrave on this side, an architrave on that side. Look at the electrical points, nicely done, provided. And when you're doing these electrical points, we do it in such a way that we don't smudge paint on top of the whatever, so we do them later. We just do the provision, and then after the paint and skimming and everything has been done, we come and mount. Look at the way the doors have come out nicely. So we lock it nicely and it locks properly. And then even the locks are nicely selected and they are steady, strong. It's not something that you hit and it falls off. We have also provided the door stoppers for each and every door. We did the flooring, nicely done after all the dirty works have been done. So we do this the last so that we don't have the scratches around. Did all this, the doors for the this is the walk-in closet, nicely supplied frame, beautifully done the electrical points, done these also well done. This door initially was a very long door that was going all the way to the ceiling, and we looked, because this door was shorter and that door was short, we didn't find a reason why it is going all the way. We tried to reduce them and standardize so that all the doors are at the same height. Apart from that, we came into this bathroom just in form of improvement. We did this cabinet. The mirror was almost at that height. We supplied this wash hand basin. We supplied the mixer there. We also supplied this safety whatever for holding on. We did the gypsum. It was ripped off initially. Did it properly. We supplied the lights, corners around, and even that it's called an armrest, or it's an armrest there for safety purposes. So those are some of the works that we did in this space to improve. I think we didn't do the tiles. Then initially, if you come to this side, the bed was actually on this side. The bed was on this side. We decided to shift the bed to the other side, and what we did, all the cables that were here, actually the points were here, the electrical switches were here, and this was the light on top. The bed was under, so we decided to channel all the lighting cables. They ran through that wall all the way to here, and we supplied all the controls here. So if you want to control everything here, you can control on this side, and it's actually done in such a way that these switches are separated completely in such a way that when you're on that side, the he and the she side, you can actually control this switch from either side. In most cases, these controls are in such a way that only on one side, one person can switch on one light and the other ones can be controlled from only one particular side. But the three gangs actually are completely separated. So you're on that side, you can switch them on, switch all the lights off. You're on this side, you can still switch them on and switch them off. Then we provide you with a socket just slightly an inch from the whatever, but in real sense I wanted it to be here, but my client prefers it from the other side. Center the thing nicely, supplied these wall brackets. They were not initially there. Look at how they just light up nicely. And that is it. We skimmed the walls nicely, ripped out the floor that was there, and laid down these engineered floors. And the curtains were also supplied. If you look at around, this sheer is supplied in all the bedrooms. And then the curtain rod, and the ceiling was a simple flat ceiling. We didn't want to complicate manenos. That is it for the master. The door on the other side, the same thing. So let me take you to the other bedrooms. That are here, and a few of the works that are done because it's a repetition. We just cleaned up this space nicely, provided the nice beautiful door, did the floors, skimmed the walls, supplied the cabinets on that level, and then this is our office here. And actually the cables were on the other side, and because initially I think it was a bedroom, so we decided to make it an office. So we channeled all the wires from the other side all the way to the backside, and I think some went through the ceiling. And then now my client can comfortably sit here and work nicely. It's a simple space. It has nice shelves for books, has a space for provision for a dispenser, and powered nice. When we came to this side, I really didn't know what was on that side initially, because these spaces were also, there were boards around. These were MDF boards. So there was no this arch. We supplied this nice mahogany arch, nicely trimmed with an architrave on either side. Then we skimmed this with the body filler nicely, and then we spray painted it so that it looks exactly like the other side. But if you looked around, these places was actually in tatters. It was not looking nice. And another thing that I like about this space is actually this bathroom. I love this outdoor bathroom. It feels so nice. When I don't know what was the idea. I think initially it was a balcony which was transferred, or which was transformed into a bathroom. So there is a shower here, there is a toilet, there is a sink. Initially, I think it was serving this bedroom and the other bedroom. But I love it because right now this is an office, the other side is a bedroom, and now the bathroom that was inside the bedroom, we transformed into shelves for bags. And I love because it's an outdoor and there's light coming from the sky, and the sun can just shine in as you use this space. It's so beautiful. Then for consistency purposes, this is bedroom 1. Look at the doors, nicely done, well supplied. It locks nicely. The key is not there. Look at the walls, very well sanded. Look at the finishes, well treated, and the color scheme consistently done around the house without complicating with different colors. Look, whereby you have to have a blue here, a green here, a yellow here. Simplicity is the mother of design. Then we also channel, these were not there, we channel the PowerPoints on this side and on that side, so that if you're using the he and the she on this side, they can still be able to utilize, to switch on and switch off, rather than you are on the bed, you've already prepared yourself to sleep, and you realize the lights are still on, and you have to run to the main entrance to switch them on or switch them off, so you can still operate from that side. Then when you are entering, you can still operate from this side. So those are provided. So there was this room that was very tiny that initially was the bathroom for this room. So we transformed it into a backspace. So we supplied this beautiful frameless glass door, whereby if need be, you can actually just lock it. Then if you want, you can open it, and then it has like a small nice knob handle in stainless steel. You walk in and you find our bags nicely arranged and protected in different bags. So this is really, initially we didn't even think that it will come out really as nice as this, but even the spacing was well thought of. The lower ones were bigger, then the upper ones were smaller for smaller bags, and the smaller bags are the many. So just nice beautiful shelves, nice light up there, and that is it. So that is it for that bedroom. Then from there is one more bedroom as we transit. So this bedroom, this is the kids' bedroom. This is the only bedroom that we supplied, or we did a different color, and it's a boys' room. So very simple, simply done. Simple gypsum ceiling, a cornice around, nicely done walls, painted and skimmed nicely, and they come and they fit their bed there nicely, and they also provide a proper study area there, and then now a beautiful dresser on this side. So everything has just complemented itself nicely, and the boy is extremely happy. Then as part of the renovations, you'll come and realize some things were falling off, so we had to do some nice beautiful tissue holders. We had to change some of the mixers so that they work properly. We had to supply all these so that everything just complements. We had to supply a hand towel on this other side, a few lights on the upper side, just to make things and clean up the space. A beautiful handle, beautiful door. Each and every item is just well thought out, and the house is really looking extremely beautiful. That is it for this particular project. Let me take you to the backyard. You see what we did on the other side, plus the gym, a domestic gym. So let's walk. So guys, do not let spaces that you are not using in your homes just go unused. This was one of the spaces that was just in here, and we came up with a proposal of ripping it and doing it as a gym. Initially, I can't even remember the materials that were on the walls, but maybe basically we can throw in the previous videos to see. But we ripped out these walls, and actually they were in tiles. We ripped them out and then ripped the floor. I don't know what was here. Then we supplied now the gym tiles. We did this wall nicely in such a way. It's actually, if you look at the levels, were not properly done. The levels were not equal. So we tried to just walk around and make sure that no one realizes or it's not so conspicuous. So we did a trim around the wall, a trim on the upper side, and a trim. Then we supplied a plinth on the lower side to just take care of the electrical points, and then we did mirrors from a certain level that is around 2.2 all the way to around 300 from the floor level, and it goes all the way to the other side. Painted the walls, schemed, supplied for this. We have a cabinet there that actually, if you have those are the gym tins for water and maybe a few towels on that side, you can use that. Then aeration from that side. We also supplied the lighting and all that. Then a skirting all around. And right now, if you are a gym user, just come in, sit on this thing nicely, and then, my friend, you push the chuma, you push iron, you eat iron. This is chest, this is push workout. So you can have that, or you can decide and come and jump on this and break, do your thing. So the space is well utilized, and someone can nicely do the things in this space. And if you want to go faster, you can do that. So that is it. So this is a gym area. So I would encourage most of our clients, probably if you have a space, we can actually transform it into a small gym, domestic gym. It doesn't have to have heavy equipment. You can actually use it for aerobics or full body, whereby you just need a mat and a few dumbbells. And that is it for this space. If you look at how the space looked before, maybe you can attest that it's a home improvement. So guys, as part of home improvement, the exterior parts are part of improvement, and that is part of our scopes. Those are part of our scopes that we do in homes. So in this particular area, we realized this place was actually not looking so nice, so we decided to also give it an improvement, that is a facelift. So we had to come up with designs of what to do. So initially it was just tiles all the way, and there were so many plants around here that is from the previous owner. So we decided to come up with a design for this area, and we proposed a few things in this backyard, and that one was the gazebo, and that was the main thing. Then we had a small space that we also provided for barbecue center, and we also did another space on the far right, which is actually the Dobby area. And then as you go to the DSQs, there was a small room on the back side. We decided to use that as our domestic home gym. This area, part of this space, was actually used as an airing space, so they used to air their clothes on this side, and we decided to remove those airing spaces from the front side, and we took them to the back side. So in brief, So I will just mention we did the paint works for the entire house, that is from the front side to the back side, all the way to the gutters and the fascia boards. We did the paint work. We also supplied some of the gutters because they were broken. We also provided a few lights, actually most of the exterior lights. We changed these particular lights when you come in the evenings. They were actually scattered around, and we just provided one light on that side and one light on that side and one lamp in the middle. One of the balls that were in the middle, we decided to put it as a light inside. Supply these tough grasses all around the other side. And then we also decided to incorporate plants around, and they're actually growing. As you can see, they're actually sprouting. So we came up with the design of doing this gazebo in such a way that most of the times when they're around, maybe during the weekend, or maybe they have guests who don't want to sit inside, they can comfortably come and sit here. So we did this gazebo in a few materials. We had to use chuma as pillars and supports. We had to use chumas as rafters or runners on the roof. Then we decided to leave it open in such a way because they want to sit here, maybe it's in the evening, and they want to see the sky. It's open to sky. That is one item. Secondly, maybe you're seated here and it's as cold as right now and the sun is on and off, you can still bask here and feel comfortable. But we also thought, because it's outside, in the event you just want to sit here and it's maybe drizzling or it's raining a bit, you can come and close this gazebo with these curtains, and they can actually, you can close that side and you can close this side and close that side and sit here and have your light on and still be comfortable. Because at times when it's raining, putting them on the same floor, it means that if water is here, it will drip inside there. So we decided to lift or to raise this plinth area slightly on above the floor level by 150 mm be above the floor level. Painted the other back wall nicely, supplied this light here, and this is where there was I think I don't know, there was a manhole here that was not properly done. So we decided to trim it nicely with the tiles, with chromes on the side, so that no one knows what was it. And then part of the tough grass on the mabati or the chuma that is normally here, we decided to cut this a piece of the tough grass and put it in the middle. Initially they're supposed to put a planter here, and then this is where they're supposed to use as their barbecue center. So they'll come with a plate, put it on top, roast their thing, grill their things, and serve the people on the other side. After some time, we noticed when it's raining, probably some rains will spill into this other side. So we also supplied this aluminium panel with the frameless glass around it, so that it is not so much a lot of work or a lot of things or activities on the upper level, but it is covered nicely that right now when it's raining, the rain does not come to this side. We had also provided the foils inside in such a way that just in case it's a bit wet, it does not interfere with the lifespan of the cabinet. So also we did it in such a way that the granite, the granite top and the sides are also covered in granite, so that just the only exposed part is this. But luckily enough, or beautifully enough, we have a roof on top, so this place is well secured. And then just to beautify or to make it look a bit more better, we also did the tough grass on this side, planters on the side. If you come in the evening, this place is heavenly. As usual, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and on our social media pages at kthinteriorz, where style meets elegance.